So the way this is gonna be handled is that Naruto would be even more alone in the story. He still has the 9 tails inside him, and the whole village calls him demon or monster more often than usual. They even break into his home, destroy his stuff, and continue to call him demon or monster. Pretty sad. Do you remember that part when Naruto took the scroll and Mizuki threw a giant shuriken at him? Iruka didn't even bother helping him. Naruto had to dodge and defend it by himself. And once he defeated Mizuki, Iruka ordered a punishment against Naruto for stealing the scroll. You see, Naruto's life is far more worse in this timeline than the other. Also, in this what if, he doesn't dream about becoming Hokage. He actually hates the Hokages. Naruto believes it's their fault for his sad life. He also thinks the Hokages made this village corrupt enough to reject and torment a kid like him. He would also be a prodigy in the story and would be more bloodthirsty and violent. So now you get the point of how Naruto would be portrayed in the story. Let's get into the what if. So we start off with Team 7's first meeting with each other. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura wait for Kakashi to arrive. While waiting, Sakura muffles under her breath. Why do I have to be in the same team with this monster? Now everyone would taunt me. Naruto overhears what she says, and his face turns into an angry expression. He jumps up from where he was sitting down and grabs Sakura by the neck. Sakura tries to release herself from his bind, but she realizes Naruto is too strong. He growls and says, I hate this village and everyone in it. The only reason I joined this team was to try to get stronger. And Sasuke, don't try to do anything or I'll actually break her neck. Sasuke just stares at Naruto in a shocked expression. Frozen. Naruto's eyes begin to turn red, then he sees a fist rocketing towards him. He gets pounded into the ground while Sakura breathes heavily after being let go of Naruto's grip. Well, is this one of my students, huh? You need to get some anger management classes. Naruto gets up to see Kakashi. Kakashi says at Naruto and says, I guess you really are a monster. Maybe I am, but someday every single one of you would wish that I wasn't, and wish that you didn't give me such a bad life. Naruto replies, I quit this team, but I will come back for the whole village and teach them what a real monster is. Naruto pulls out a smoke bomb and disappears. He returns to his home and goes to a secret storage. From there he pulls out the forbidden scroll. Yes, Naruto still kept the scroll but left a fake one in the Hokage office. Naruto says to himself, I got to learn all these forbidden jutsus and train myself. I have to complete my plan. Naruto is planning something very big. He wants to leave the village and find other people like him to take revenge on Konoha. But for this to happen, he needs to train himself to become stronger, so he doesn't look like a joke. He heads from his place to the outskirts of the Hidden Leaf, finding an old house. He isolates himself from the population of the Leaf so he can train privately and so nobody knows he has the forbidden scroll. He's determined to his goal and won't let anybody change that. So now we're going to have a 2-month time skip. Naruto in a new attire heads from the old house he was staying at. Finally, I'm sure of it, I've gotten stronger, Naruto says to himself. So what Naruto learnt from the Forbidden Scrolls is what I assume to be Tobirama's forbidden jutsus, like the Flying Thunder God and Edo Tensei. But of course, he learnt the Multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu when he found the scroll the first time. But Naruto also has learnt how to control his 9 tails chakra, but hasn't let Kurama take control of him since Naruto is not that stupid. But Kurama likes Naruto's new style and how he gives into the hatred of the Leaf. Naruto is now ready to leave the Hidden Leaf and goes back to give one last goodbye. He heads on top of a pillar in the village. I will be back and I will return for my revenge. You've treated me like trash, now I will return to make this village into trash. Naruto grabs a kunai and pierces his headband as he accepts he is now a rogue ninja. Naruto jumps back down to the ground and heads for the gates. Meanwhile, Team 7 is in the Land of Waves finishing up their mission to protect the bridge builder. A day later, Naruto is on the road looking for anybody that would be interesting to team up. So suddenly, Naruto sets his eyes on a masked man walking up to him. Now last time we left off with Naruto getting confronted by a masked man. But we know who it is, Obito Uchiha. Naruto starts to send a bad aura off this guy, but he likes it. Naruto realizes something then. People talked about this one masked man that attacked the Leaf years ago, while controlling the 9 tails. A grin starts to appear on his face as he starts walking towards Obito. Was it you? Naruto asked calmly. Were you the one who attacked Konoha? Obito decides to speak up and says, yes, it was I, Madara Uchiha, and I need you, Naruto Uzumaki. I know why you left your village. I know you're suffering. Join me, and join us. Obito wants Naruto to join his rogue ninja group, but not to be allies, but as a tool for his own biddings. Naruto shivers after hearing the name Madara Uchiha, the legendary shinobi that fought Hashirama. But then he stops and asks, what exactly do you mean by us when you said that? Naruto sounds confused. Obito answers in a dark voice. We are the Akatsuki, a secret organization that endure to complete our goals. And by that, we have to capture all the Bijus. Naruto takes steps backwards, knowing that he has a Biju inside him. Damn, this guy is Madara Uchiha. Can't match against him. But why? Why did he say I could join him? Naruto froze and waits for this so-called Madara is going to do. Obito speaks up. Don't worry Naruto, we don't need your 9 tails, if that's what you're thinking. We need all the other Biju, they're enough for us to complete our plan. Naruto lets out a sigh of relief, but we know that Obito is planning to use Naruto, then get the Kyuubi out of him. So even if I join you, would you guys help me enact my vengeance on the Leaf? Obito chuckles. Go ask Orochimaru about that. He betrayed our group, but I know where he is. I'm sure he would be glad to help. Now anyways, follow me. With no hesitation, Naruto follows. Fine then. For all I care is that I execute my revenge on Konoha, for all of what they done to me. Obito then announces, for now, you will be an Akatsuki member, who serves no purpose to any village, so follow me, Naruto Uzumaki. We then cut to when Obito and Naruto arrive at the Akatsuki hideout. The Akatsuki apparently are having a meeting right now, so Obito explains how he is the leader in the shadows and he can't walk in with Naruto just yet, but soon. So he then tells Naruto to go in by himself. Naruto feels stares all around him as he walks in, as it would be strange to have a really young member in the group. Surrounding him are the current members of the Akatsuki. Pain, Konan, Sasori, Deidara, Itachi, Kasame, Hidan, and Kakazu. Itachi glares at Naruto, surprised to see him here. Half of the Akatsuki ready themselves to fight, seeing a Jinchuriki in the hideout. Pain then says to everyone that they shall not harm this Jinchuriki in any way, and welcome him nicely into the Akatsuki. Pain then walks over to Naruto, and that's when Naruto gets a glimpse of the legendary Rinnegan that everyone talks about, and says that the legendary Sage of the Six Paths had a long time ago. Pain then grants Naruto the red cloak, symbolizing that he's now officially a member of the Akatsuki. Haha, look at Tachi, we have another Leaf Shinobi in our possession. Kasami stares at Naruto. Sasori then questions Pain on how do they know that if they could trust Naruto, since he just rolled up out of nowhere. Pain then answers calmly, saying how he has special sources to confirm that, and how Naruto has already fallen to their side. Pain signals Konan to lead Naruto outside to show her what Naruto is capable of. While they leave, Deidara quickly questions Pain, so, what's the real reason you let him in? We know you're very set on to your goal of collecting all the tailed beasts, so what's the truth, leader? Pain grins. Heh, we used him to capture all the Bijus, then help him take down the hidden leaf, but when he's doing that, we seize him and grasp the Kyuubi out of him. So all we have to do is manipulate him into thinking that we're actually on his side. Deidara smirks after hearing this answer. But who's going to be his partner? Pain says that he has Naruto's partner ready and that they may call him Tobi. Naruto, unaware of what the Akatsuki is planning to do with him, shows his skill set to Konan, and grins in excitement thinking he will now get the chance to take down the leaf. Meanwhile, elsewhere, the Chunin exams are about to start and Orochimaru plans his own attack on the leaf. While he is planning, Obito teleports in. Well, long time no see, traitor. If you think I'm here to kill you, you're wrong. I'm here to tell you of a new better plan I had in mind, using one of my allies, for your attack, Orochimaru. Orochimaru shivers and is able to speak out. Madara Uchiha. Start off with Naruto walking into Orochimaru's hideout. It's quiet and Naruto smells a faint scent of blood. He walks around looking for the legendary Sani known as Orochimaru that Obito wanted him to see. Kabuto is currently not there right now since he's in the Leaf Village to compete in the Chunin exams. Naruto continues to search and then senses a presence behind. Hissing sounds erupt in his ear as a snake-like human jumps out towards him. Naruto jumps back quickly, just missing Orochimaru's attack. I see you're no joke, Orochimaru. I sense your presence at the last moment. Well, I guess it's no surprise since you're one of the legendary Saiyans. Now, what's the plan? Madara told me to come here for the plan to crush Konoha, and I need to know quickly since I need to do tailed beast hunting. Orochimaru just stares at Naruto, bewildered by how Naruto dodged his perfect attack so quickly. A creepy smile then forms on his face and thinks it's no surprise as well since Naruto is a Jinchuriki who trained his powers. Orochimaru then signals Naruto to tell him the plan. We cut to after they finish talking and Naruto leaves to do his Akatsuki duties, meeting with Obito. Alright, which tail beast are we going after now, Madara? We're going for the 5 tails, Naruto, in Iwagakure, the village hidden in the stones. Jinchuriki name is Han, and we don't know that much about his abilities just yet, but we'll find out soon enough. Now come along. Naruto and Obito start their journey to the village hidden in the stones, with their prime target, Han, not knowing that he's about to be attacked by the Akatsuki. Naruto and Obito eventually enter the village, feeling a gush of strong chakra flowing in the air. That must be him. Naruto tries to keep his voice low, since he's trying to keep a low profile. They both keep their cool around everyone else in the village as they walk towards the great chakra that they sensed. Obito tells Naruto that Naruto, has to capture the Jinchuriki himself as a training method. Naruto calmly agrees as they continue to observe for Han. The strong chakra flow gets warmer and warmer as they keep walking, and they finally find the sight of a tall man wearing a suit looking like armor while donning a red hat. Han is pretty much just chilling, just doing his own thing, not knowing that he's about to greet the new Akatsuki member, Naruto. Obito nods his head at Naruto, signaling that it is now ready for him to make his move. Naruto realizes his opponent is a Jinchuriki and readies his 9 tails chakra for when the time comes. He then casts the multi-shadow clone jutsu and throws kunais which have ceilings on it. That indicates that he's about to do a combo move with the clones and his new learned jutsu, the flying Raijin. He lashes out on Han, teleporting to different kunais while attacking, which leaves Han unguarded from all of Naruto's hits that were striking at each side of his body. He's phased on what happened and gets enraged for getting struck by a sneak attack. He unleashes his steam that was in his armor, enhancing his physical strength, and destroys all of the clones, sending Naruto back. Who are you? Han turns to see his attacker. Naruto gets back up and grins. You're deaf. And like that, he dashes at Han, throwing another flying Raijin kunai, teleporting to him and getting a clean hit. Han then gets more serious and sends fatal blows across Naruto from his enhanced strength that he got from his steam and his armor/tailed beast. Naruto then brushes himself off, seeming kind of confident against Han. He summons more clones to race at the enraged Jinchuriki, not getting that much hits on him though. Naruto then thinks that it's time to unleash his Kyuubi's chakra that he stored within him. Man, this training did me well. This chakra is amazing. Kurama inside of Naruto smirks as he's pleased to give Naruto his chakra, since of Naruto's turn on the shinobi world. He thinks if Naruto gets his revenge in the Leaf Village, he too gets his revenge for getting sealed. But he still doesn't like Obito, which he knows him as Madara. Naruto's eyes grow into a slit-like state, indicating that he is now using the 9-tailed chakra. He also has a vicious aura around him, intimidating Han only a bit slightly. You're one of me, aren't you? If you are, why are you doing this? We Jinchuriki should understand each other. Naruto ignores Han and using the 9-tailed chakra blitzes to his side and slashes at his armor, letting steam fly out. Han then has enough and lets out the 5-tailed beast within him. A roar echoes in the village as he is transforming, but Naruto viciously continues slashing at Han, not letting him have time to transform fully. Naruto then lets his final attack go out, using his enhanced 9-tailed chakra fist to pound Han unconscious. His Biju inside of him goes away in his body, defeated. But he isn't dead yet. Naruto held back a bit since the Akatsuki need their Jinchuriki alive. Well done, Naruto. I see you're officially compatible to go up against Jinchuriki like yourself. Obito walks up to Han's body, picks it up, and teleports it away to his dimension for his safekeeping. Now you should go where Orochimaru is expecting you to be. Naruto nods his head while leaving his beast state. He wipes some sweat off his forehead while leaving with Obito to his new location. We now cut to when he is in the forest, a dark forest which reeks of death, which is also simply known as the Forest of Death. Obito left him there since of Orochimaru's plan. Naruto looks around observing for his two main targets. Yeah, he has two targets he's going after now. The targets' names are known as Sasuke Uchiha and Gaara of the Sand. The plan Naruto and Orochimaru discussed was centered around crushing the Leaf Village, getting Gaara for the Akatsuki, and also capturing Sasuke for Orochimaru. It was like killing 3 birds, not 2, 3 with 1 stone. At that point of time, Naruto already entered the forest and had already met with Orochimaru, acquiring the curse mark, and merely escaping from all of his attacks since Naruto is not there to help. Also, Gaara has now finished his part in the exam with his OP sand, and now Naruto's main objective is to find Sasuke. He dots around tree by tree observing for his ex-teammate that he's now going after with a killing intent, but he's not allowed to kill him just now since Orochimaru wants Sasuke's body. Meanwhile, out of the Forest of Death elsewhere, Jiraiya visits Hiruzen for the first time in a long time. He's curious to see how Naruto is going since he has not heard any news about him. Hiruzen tells Jiraiya that Naruto left the village months ago and is now sadly a missing nin, which the village has accepted to when they see him they have to kill him on sight. Jiraiya gets enraged knowing that it's the village's fault for Naruto's departure and that it's mostly Hiruzen's fault for not dealing with it. Hiruzen ignores Jiraiya, turning away from him and just smokes. It's all your fault, old man. Now you have the 4th Hokage's son as your enemy, Minato's son. You could have stopped this, but now I'll have to deal with it myself. Jiraiya flips over Hiruzen's desk and walks out of the office, and now his new goal is to find Naruto and convince him to come back. Back in the Forest of Death, Naruto picks up a faint chakra rising around near him. He dashes closer to it and in his sight is Sasuke finishing up with Dozu and his team in his curse mark state. Dozu retreats and Naruto enters to the site. Well Sasuke, long time no see. I would say how are you, but you wouldn't be too happy with your answer when I'm done with you. Naruto grows an evil smile on his face and stares at Sasuke in enjoyment. So last time we left off with Naruto catching up to Sasuke and confronting him. His main mission was to capture Sasuke and bring him into Orochimaru's hands. What are you wearing there, Naruto? A cloak with red clouds? You look like a jerk. It doesn't matter, Sasuke. I'm still gonna bring you down. Naruto throws a flying Raijin kunai at Sasuke, teleporting to him. Sasuke reacts to this quickly and counters Naruto's hit. He then throws him into a tree, wounding him. This power is amazing. I can't get rid of it. Sasuke's curse mark is boosting him, able to match up against Jonin level Naruto. Naruto gets up and forms shadow clones to surround Sasuke. He then tries to use his Kubi chakra he trained with, but realizes that he doesn't have enough chakra and energy since after beating the Jinchuriki he versed. He makes his shadow clones disappear and he just says this: well Sasuke, we'll have to continue this another time. I currently do not have enough chakra to fight. Sasuke's curse mark starts to go away as Naruto leaves. If he's coming back, then I gotta be ready. Sasuke and Sakura go on to continue the Forest of Death and start the preliminary rounds. So now we're gonna have Naruto train before the Konoha Crush plan to take action. Obito is gonna be training him too, and while they're training, Obito tells Naruto if he could bring the full extent of the Nine Tails chakra. Naruto agrees to do this and he goes to see the Kyuubi inside of him. Can you help me out, Nine Tails? I know you have the same goals as me, to destroy the Leaf Village. We need to become partners in this. Alright Naruto, I accept. And my name is Kurama, not Nine Tails. Just open the seal now, I won't take over your body, I promise. Naruto unlocks and opens the seal he had on him, releasing Kurama. He also gains a new form, which is the Kyuubi Chakra Cloak mode. Naruto and Kurama now have gained a new trust and bond by having the same goals as each other, and Naruto also has a new power to use against the Leaf Village. We now cut to later in the final round. Sasuke and Gaara's battle get interrupted by Gaara going crazy and leaving the battle. And just like that, the Konoha Crush plan takes action with the Sand and Sound Ninja infiltrating the leaf. Jiraiya in the village at the moment looks out to see the infiltration happening. He jumps up to the high ground, and in his sight is Hiruzen and Orochimaru in the heat of battle. Jiraiya doesn't just stand there, so he runs towards the battle, unsure if he should help Hiruzen or not, remembering how it was his fault for Naruto's absence. He then forgets that and thinks how the village would be without a Hokage, so he goes to aid Hiruzen in battle. In the outskirts of the village, Naruto and Obito get ready. Obito ordered that Naruto should go for Gaara, knowing how that would really help out the Akatsuki. Naruto agrees to the plan, and while he goes after Gaara, Obito takes care of the Jonin ninja, including Kakashi. So like in the original, Sasuke catches up to Gaara after a long pursuit and gets ready to continue this fight between him. But we know that Sasuke easily gets knocked down since of Gaara's half Shukaku mode, which is too much for Sasuke. Also, he can't really control his curse mark, which takes a lot of energy from him. Naruto locates where Gaara is and prepares for a battle going into his new Kurama mode. He lands on a tree branch above Gaara and realizes Sasuke is there too, exciting him. Oh, this is really good. Both of my targets in the same place at the same time. How lucky am I? Naruto jumps off the tree branch and attacks Gaara so quickly that he couldn't see a thing. Gaara's bloodlust starts to rise. You have a monster inside of you too, huh? Gaara gets enraged and goes for a big attack on Naruto, but as soon as Gaara attacks, Naruto disappears from his view. He looks around him, backward, left, right, but still can't see him. Gaara then slowly looks up and sees an extended Kurama arm rocketing his way. He has no time to dodge because of the speed Naruto is going with his attack. Naruto lands a hit on Gaara, sending him tumbling to the ground. Blood pours out of his mouth as he tries to get out. Gaara now knows it's time and there's no other option left, so he unleashes the full Shukaku on Naruto, hoping that this would actually defeat him. Naruto looks up into surprise at seeing Gaara using the full extent of his power. While this is happening, Sakura arrives to see Sasuke down, but since she's useless at the time of this part of the story, she doesn't do anything else but sit there next to him. Back to the Naruto vs Gaara fight, Naruto just chuckles to himself looking at the sides of the Shukaku. Kurama, let's see what you got. Naruto unleashes to his Kurama avatar state, overthrowing the Shukaku by size and power. Oh man, I didn't sign up to be beaten by the Nine Tails. The Shukaku just thinks that all he could do is just try, so he sends air bullet attacks at Kurama, hoping that would actually wound him. But to his surprise, Kurama just tanked all of his attacks. Naruto readies Kurama's new attack and he creates a small Biju bomb, capable enough of apprehending Gaara and succeeding to complete his mission. On his mark, he shoots his Biju bomb at Shukaku, making him go away and also returning Gaara to his original state, unconscious but alive for the extraction of the one-tailed beast. Naruto returns to his normal state as well, and finding Sasuke on the ground next to Sakura. Naruto laughs. Well, I guess I didn't really need to do anything about capturing you, Sasuke. Sakura gets up and gets a kunai to defend Sasuke. Ha, Sakura, useless as always. Naruto teleports to her side using the flying Raijin and lashes out at her with a hit that sends her into a tree. No, Naruto, stop. Sasuke tries to get words out as he's on the ground, but Naruto just ignores his pleas and picks Sasuke up, with Gaara too, and takes them to a place where he plans to meet Orochimaru and Obito after they do their jobs. Meanwhile, Hiruzen and Jiraiya are in a fight with Orochimaru and the Edo Tensei versions of Hashirama and Tobirama. Jiraiya and Hiruzen succeed to take down the past Hokages, but unfortunately Orochimaru catches Hiruzen off guard and goes for a killing blow. Blood flies everywhere as Hiruzen tumbles to the ground with his last words being, "I'm sorry Jiraiya, that I didn't take care of Naruto. You're the only one left to bring him back." Hiruzen dies and Jiraiya is able to slightly defeat Orochimaru, with Orochimaru escaping but his arms and jutsu still work, since Hiruzen didn't get time to seal his arms and seal away his jutsus. Obito was able to kill some of Konoha's defenses and retreats as he sees Orochimaru escape to their meeting place. The three of them meet up, with Orochimaru being very wounded from his battle, while Obito and Naruto don't even have scratches. Naruto gives Orochimaru, Sasuke, and Obito get to Gaara. They've succeeded in their plan and they go on to their separate ways, with Naruto getting excited to finish Pain's plan to use the super weapon against Konoha. In the aftermath of the attack, Jiraiya accepts to become the 5th Hokage, but he announces for the village to send out Jonin and Chunin the members to look for Naruto and Sasuke to bring them back to the Leaf Village. So last time we left off with the Akatsuki and Orochimaru succeeding in their goals, with Orochimaru acquiring Sasuke and Naruto capturing Gaara. Also, Naruto has got his new Kurama mode that is really strong, but he still has to train with it to fight stronger enemies, so he still has to control it. Now we cut to the Akatsuki hideout with Naruto being congratulated by Pain for catching 2 Jinchurikis himself. But we know it's all an act from Pain, but what he's thinking actually is that he can't let Naruto grow stronger and that he has to capture all of the Biju quickly, so Naruto has his full-on trust to them and then just at that moment strike Naruto down. Currently the Akatsuki have 2-tailed beasts captured, the 5-tails and the 1-tails. Soon they'll get the rest, but right now Gaara is getting the Shukaku extracted from him. Screams echo throughout the hideout as all of the Akatsuki members take the Shukaku out of Gaara. Naruto hears the helpless screams, almost rethinking his actions, but he then realizes that he should only look out for himself, no one else. Everyone rejected him as trash. He shouldn't feel sorry for another human life when they don't care about him. Naruto then erupts in laughter, an evil, loud laughter, loud enough for all of the Akatsuki and Gaara to hear. I'm sorry everyone, it's just so funny, because this guy wanted to kill everyone around him. Yeah, he's the one who's dying right now. It doesn't really matter, let's just finish him off. The Akatsuki continues on and eventually finishes the extractment. So now, we're gonna have a time skip going to 2 years into the future, just like how Shippuden was. But this is extremely different since Tsunade didn't become Hokage, Naruto didn't fight Sasuke in the Valley of the End, and Jiraiya didn't go out training with Naruto. Alright, so after the 2 years time skip, we cut to the remaining Konoha 11 teams going out to search for the missing teammates. It's been 2 years since Naruto had left the village and captured Sasuke for Orochimaru. This time they hoped they could find them. Just this once, they hoped this would be the day. Also 2 years ago, the village hidden in the sand suffered the loss of Gaara, not knowing where he went missing, but knowing he's probably dead, which they were right. The Konoha 11 continue searching different locations. They arrive at one of them being a wide open forest that looks like a bit suspicious, looking like a place where an enemy shinobi would be walking around. Neji scans the place, checking if there are anyone around, while Kiba and Akamaru try to pick up the scent. What are we doing now? We're not gonna find anyone here, just like all the other places we searched. I really want to find Sasuke, but I think we should just rest now. Ino says this as she tries to sit on the tree branch. The team begins to give in to what Ino was saying, but then Neji spots something, and at the same moment, Kiba picks up a faint scent. Guys, I spotted something with my Byakugan. There's 2 people walking. Neji leaps and heads towards the target he saw, while Kiba races behind with the other Konoha 11 members. Lee catches up to Neji fairly quickly. What were their chakra like? Are they strong? Yeah, they had a big amount of chakra, but I also saw something hanging from one of the target's backs. It looked like a sword, a big sword, but it also might be someone carrying someone. So let's just hope this could be Naruto carrying Sasuke. The team lands on top of the tree branches just above the unknown target, and to their surprise, they weren't Sasuke or Naruto, but they did have cloaks with red clouds on them. Who do you think they are? Choji whispered quietly into Shikamaru's ear. I don't know, but they look like rogue ninjas. Can you see their headbands? I think they are... Wait, that black-haired one has a leaf headband. And I've seen him before in the bingo book. And his name is Itachi Uchiha. Shikamaru accidentally shouts the name of the target the team were observing, which signals Itachi to their side. Well, Itachi, aren't they at least shinobi? Yes, they are, Kasame, and I think I'll need to dispose of them. Okay then, but count me in. Itachi and Kasame take their stances against the Criminal 11, readying to battle. Kasame takes out the Samahada viciously as the sword looks hungry for a new snack. Choji looks at both Itachi and Kasame, scared at what to do. He also glares at a red spiral turning in Itachi's eyes. He then looks at Shikamaru, hoping that he would have a plan, but at that moment, the whole world starts to turn pitch black for him. He finds himself by himself with no sound or anybody else around. Itachi then enters. Choji tries to scream out, but nothing comes out of his mouth. He has already been put into Itachi's Tsukiyomi. The day-long torture begins and Choji cannot cope with it. In the real world, Choji's body starts to tumble and then he falls onto the ground, breaking every bone in his body. Blood flies everywhere while Itachi stops the Tsukiyomi. Shikamaru yells out to Choji, hoping that he would at least hear a sound, but silence fills the forest and the only sound is thunder banging in the sky while rain starts to pour down. No, it can't be. He can't be. Shikamaru lands onto the ground and grabs Choji's body in his arms. Guys, we're retreating. The Konoha 11 starts to get out, but Kasame is not gonna have any of that, so he starts to chase after them, but Itachi then stops him and says how it would be a waste of time, that he had already got one of them down. Kasame just nods his head and the both of them continue walking along. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Sasuke trains this new technique with Orochimaru watching on. So if you guys were wondering why Sasuke is training, well, when he got captured, Orochimaru convinced him that the only reason he got him was to give him power to kill his brother. But we all know the real reason, that Orochimaru wants to have his body. But this is how it goes. Orochimaru said how he disliked Itachi and wanted him dead. He also said how he was too weak against Itachi, so he has to train someone stronger to kill him. Sasuke actually gave in to what Orochimaru was saying and worked with him and Kabuto. Now we cut to where Naruto is, and he's just finished beating a Jinchuriki with his partner Tobi, which we know him as Obito. Nice one today, Naruto. We've almost got all of the tailed beasts. We got 3 more left, and the boss is going for the 6 tails, while Itachi and Kasame are going for the 4 tails. Total, only one left for us to go for is the 8 tails, which is in the village hidden in the clouds. Alright Madara, then we gotta go there and collect it. We've almost completed the plan. Naruto and Obito start their journey towards the village hidden in the clouds, hoping to get their hands onto the 8 tails Jinchuriki, which was simply known as Killer Bee. But back at the Leaf Village, the Konoha 11 returns and Shikamaru carries a bloody Choji in his arms. He brings him to the 5th Hokage. Jiraiya expected him to be of help. Jiraiya looks at Choji in shock. How'd he end up like this? We ran into Itachi Uchi and yeah, this happened sadly. Jiraiya is still shocked in disbelief on what he's going to do. I'm sorry, but I can't fix your teammate. But I know someone who knows how to fix him. She was a part of the legendary Sannin like me, and I know her pretty well, but she left the village a long time ago. I'll need you to try to find her if you want to help your friend out, and quick. The name of this person is Tsunade. So we left off with Naruto and Obito heading to the Cloud Village in order to capture the 8 tails Jinchuriki, Killer Bee. This might be their hardest Jinchuriki to face since Killer Bee is known for being a perfect Jinchuriki, one who is able to control and use the power of their tailed beast. Just the same as Naruto right now though. They eventually make it to the Cloud Village and keep a low profile, just like they did in the other villages. All they need now is to get some information on where to find Killer Bee. Alright Naruto, I'll go look for some higher up journey that might have information on the place where this Jinchuriki is. Just stay around here and don't do anything. Alright Madara, no problem. Obito disappears from his sight using Kamui, and Naruto is now alone in the village. Crowds fill up the place as he tries to get his way around, looking for anything that would be useful in their mission. We cut to a later time when Obito finally returns with the information he has on where Killer Bee may be at. He tells Naruto that the torture was quick and nice and that the guy spat out the info as soon as he started. The guy he tortured said that Killer Bee is located in the mountains and that he usually just hangs out there. The Jonin also stated that Obito should be careful because Killer Bee is a partner of the Raikage and that he should get in a lot of trouble if he tries to capture him. Obito ignored that warning, knowing that he's far superior than the Raikage. So now Naruto and Obito head off to Bee's hideout, ready to capture him, the last final Jinchuriki they catch for their major plan. Naruto smirks, knowing that they'll finally get their full revenge on the Leaf. They eventually make it to Bee's hideout and meet the 8 Tails Jinchuriki. Killer Bee walks up to Naruto and Obito, greeting them and also stating that he's the 8 Tails Jinchuriki. So who are you guys, fans or something? I could give you my autograph cause you know my raps are fire. Those are some nice matching cloaks too. Naruto, on my command. Obito lifts up his fingers and jumps backwards. Naruto follows on but throws a flying Raijin kunai at Bee. He teleports to the Jinchuriki's side, letting out a clean blow to the jaw and teleporting back to Obito's side. That was uncool, man. Doing an unclear hit like that, putting me down, now I'ma have to put you in the ground. Killer Bee readies for battle and pulls out his swords. Obito then whispers to Naruto, try to make him go into his 8-tailed. I'll lay a genjutsu on him. Naruto nods and transforms into his Kurama mode. Orange light erupts and his aura becomes stronger. Killer Bee's eyes widen. So you're one of me, huh? Well, this should be interesting. Killer Bee dashes at Naruto for an attack, but Naruto disappears from his sight and reappears behind him. Bee notices this and counters Naruto's attack with his swords. He then shoves him backwards so he can ready himself again. But as soon as he does that, Naruto rushes at him again, even faster, and manages to get a strong blow on Bee. Bee crashes into some rocks and realizes that he has to go into his tailed beast mode. He gets up and smiles, thinking that he could actually beat these guys now, but in reality, sadly, he can't. Alright fools, after I'm done with you, you'll be drowning in your blood as if it was a pool. Killer Bee takes his stance and transforms into his Hachibi form, growing to a great scale. Obito smiles behind his mask and says, well done 8 Tails, you've lost. Killer Bee is confused, but as soon as he's about to question why, he gets into Obito's genjutsu, apprehending him. He reverts back to his base form and collapses on the ground. Naruto gets out of his Kurama form and walks to Bee's body. He has an evil grin over his face, knowing that the Akatsuki's plan has been finally completed. In the distance, one of the Hidden Clouds Jonin watches on, witnessing the defeat of Bee. He knows that he can't take these guys on, so you have to tell the Raikage about this. Obito walks over to Bee's body too and camoes him into his dimension, ready to extract the Hachibi from him. Now that Akatsuki has won, we'll finally be able to achieve peace. The Jonin listens and hears the word Akatsuki. He realizes that he'll have to tell this to A now, quickly, as he runs over to the Kage's office to announce the news. Back to Naruto and Obito, they camo away and go to the Akatsuki hideout. Now we cut to the group of Shikamaru, Kiba, Neji, and Sakura on the trail to find Tsunade to help save a dying Choji, since the last time he witnessed Itachi Tsukiyomi in action. With Kiba's scent, they'll be able to find Tsunade. Before they went, Jiraiya got one of Tsunade's old clothes that was stored away, and now with this, they'll be able to look for her easily. They eventually end up at a bar. It's kind of like the one that we first saw Tsunade at in the original Naruto. They enter it, and to their surprise, Tsunade is sitting around with Shizune doing her own thing. The group walks up to Tsunade, hoping that she would agree to help them. They get into a conversation with her on the incident with Choji and how they're really desperate for her help. Also, they talk about how Sakura could try to heal him, but she's not that trained and wonders if Tsunade would teach her. She almost agrees, but then she tries to bet them. Tsunade says if Sakura is able to at least get a hit on her, then she will agree to their call. The group goes outside and Sakura starts to get ready. Tsunade says start and Sakura goes at rushing full speed. She goes for a punch but fakes it and crouches under Tsunade's arm, then rises up again going for a clean hit. She hits her successfully and Tsunade agrees to their deal. Tsunade goes back with them to the leaf, ready to heal Choji. We cut elsewhere in Orochimaru's hideout. Sasuke's been knowing something's up with Orochimaru lately. He's been getting weaker. Sasuke finds out about Orochimaru's plan to take over his body, from overhearing it from the Sound 4. Oh yes, and Kimimaro is dead right at this point of time since of his sickness, so only the Sound 4, no Kimimaro. Now like in the original, Sasuke versus and kills Orochimaru, saying how he disgusts him and leaves him to die. Kabuto doesn't do anything to Sasuke, but he alerts the Sound 4. The four of them jump Sasuke. Sasuke easily counters their attack, slicing all of them with his Chidori stream. Blood spills out on the floor before them as they're knocked to the ground. Sasuke then slashes them with his sword and leaves the hideout, leaving the Sound 4 to die. Now he has a new objective, which is to find Itachi. But before that, like in the original, he makes Team Heavy and also runs into Deidara. But this time with no Toby as Deidara's partner, but Sasori is still there with him. So like in canon, the other Heavy members aren't with Sasuke at the moment, and now he's left to face two Akatsuki members. When they meet, Deidara says how he hates the Uchihas and how one of them made a fool out of him, which he's referencing to Itachi. He gets enraged by seeing Sasuke and says to Sasori that he'll fight Sasuke himself, and that he shouldn't get involved in this. Sasori agrees to let Deidara fight by himself and watches Sasuke vs Deidara. The fight pretty much goes the same way like in the original, leading up to when Deidara has to use his CO bomb. I'm sorry Sasori, but this is all I have left. At least you died by my art. Deidara starts to transform in this bomb and getting ready to unleash his most powerful attack. Sasori tries to get away quickly so he doesn't get disintegrated. Right before he explodes, he lets out a big Katsu and the whole land gets destroyed. So like in canon, Sasuke escapes with an arse pool, getting out of Deidara's explosion range. Sasori sadly dies from the bomb since he didn't get out of its range. Now later on, he eventually finds Itachi with Team Heavy and he gets ready to fight. But Team Heavy stays behind like in the original since Kisame doesn't let anyone else pass but Sasuke. We cut back to the village where Jiraiya is getting more information on the group called the Akatsuki. He's just pinpoint the location where their leader is probably at, which is the village hidden in the rain. Jiraiya thinks the Akatsuki might have some information on where Naruto might be, same with Sasuke, so he realizes if the group he sent out finds Tsunade, he'll have to make her temporarily Hokage, so he goes to investigate. Now he waits for their return. So if you remember, last time we left off with Naruto and Obito finishing their mission to capture the last Jinchuriki, Killer Bee. Also, last time Tsunade has finally entered the village to heal Choji, and Jiraiya has gotten information on where the Akatsuki's leader may be. So we cut to the Akatsuki's hideout with the group extracting the 8 tails from B. The remaining ones that are alive and at the hideout right now are Hidan, Kagasu, Naruto, Obito, and Zetsu. Itachi and Kisame are being confronted by Sasuke and Team Heavy at the moment. So they're in a bit of trouble, but like in the original Sasuke vs Itachi. While Pain and Conan are back at their home village, knowing that they'll stop all the pain and war with their Biju super weapon they dreamed of creating. The Akatsuki finishes extracting B and they all await for Pain's orders on when to finish their super weapon. Naruto waits alone outside the hideout thinking about everything he has been through, everything that he has done, and everything that he's about to make happen. But as he goes on thinking, a bird flies towards him holding a note. He takes it from the bird's clutches and reads it to himself. Naruto, I would like to congratulate you for all of the successful missions you have done. We were lucky to find a person like you that would be very helpful to the Akatsuki's cause. Now I would like you to come to the village hidden in the rain, so I can congratulate you in person and also give you a gift. Sincerely, Pain. Naruto goes from calm to a shocked expression after reading the message that was written by the leader of his organization. He gets up and tries to find Obito to tell him the news, but he can't find him anywhere. Even Zetsu's gone. I guess I better get going on the journey by myself. I wonder what that gift is. Naruto sets off for his journey to the village hidden in the rain. We cut to Konoha where Tsunade helps Choji from his almost death. Choji now has recovered with the help of Tsunade, but he won't be doing any shinobi business for a while. The remaining Konoha 11 all meet up at Choji's hospital and are happy to see him still alive. Now Tsunade's job is to train Sakura. As she tells Sakura about the details of the training, Jiraiya walks into the hospital room. I'm sorry I'm late, but I have news for you, Tsunade. Tsunade is confused, but he is out for what Jiraiya is about to say. Alright, here it goes. I think I may have found some information on the Akatsuki, an enemy group. I may have found out the leader's location, which is the village hidden in the rain, and maybe, just maybe, they might have a clue on where Naruto or Sasuke is. Everyone in the room goes quiet after hearing the names of their former comrades. Jiraiya continues on to say that he'll have to make Tsunade temporarily Hokage so he gets to investigate. He says how Tsunade is really reliable and just thinks she would be a great Hokage. Tsunade is about to disagree, but then she thinks it's alright and the role will only be temporary. Jiraiya gives Tsunade all the Hokage details and things that she'll have to do. He also says she might have some time to train Sakura too. Jiraiya then says his farewells and heads off to the village hidden in the rain, unknown of that Naruto is also going to that location too. So now we cut to the rain village with the place being showered with drops of rain. It's all gloomy and dark while Naruto walks around after entering and looking for where Pain might be waiting for him. Conan then flies out of nowhere and appears to Naruto in a cloud of paper. This way, Naruto, Pain is waiting for you. Naruto follows Conan onto the path where his leader is waiting. Sometime later, Jiraiya arrives into the village and starts to look for some info. Now we're back with Naruto, who has just found himself face to face with Pain. Naruto stares at Pain in a serious expression, feeling like there's something that's off. He can kind of sense that Pain's intentions are a little off-putting and evil. More evil than he could ever imagine. What's a serious expression, Naruto? You've come to me at my orders, so I can congratulate you. Don't be so tense. Naruto lets out a breath he was holding in, puffing it out, feeling kind of relieved, but not fully. Conan senses something in the air and says she will be back, and that someone has tried to infiltrate the village. Pain nods his head. Naruto, though, he still senses something that's not right about Pain. Now Naruto, for the gift I'm about to give you, I would like you to stare into the rainy sky and wait for what I'm about to show you. Naruto looks up, readying himself for what kind of surprise Pain has in mind. At the same time, Jiraiya comes close to them. He had just had a run-in with Conan but successfully took her down, for now though, but also had one of the 6 parts of Pain chasing him. He runs towards some place so he can escape the Pain, but he finds himself facing Naruto and Pain together. Jiraiya can't believe his eyes. He looks back to check if the Pain is still chasing him, but it looks like he got off his trail. Naruto continues waiting for what his leader has in store for him, but actually behind him, Pain lifts his arm up and a chakra blade comes out of his arm, ready to stab Naruto. He goes for it, but then Jiraiya shouts from behind, "Naruto, dodge!" Naruto jumps out of Pain's direction, saving himself from Pain's attack. He's confused and wonders who called his name out, and he turns around. Naruto sets his sight on an old-looking man with red clothing and white hair, also seeing Jiraiya for the first time. Pain turns around too, and to his shock, he sees his old teacher again. Well, Sensei, long time no see. You wrecked up what I was about to do there. Well, it's time for you to know what Pain is. Jiraiya wonders who this guy is, Yahiko or Nagato, after finally setting his sight on the leader of the Akatsuki. Naruto, I finally found you. After all this time. And this person you call Pain, he was about to betray you. I don't know what his true purpose is, but help me to fight him. Naruto is confused right now as he tries to get an idea on what is happening. While he does that though, all of the remaining Pains meet up with the Deva Path ready to take down their enemies. Who are you, old man? Why should I trust you? Naruto stares at Jiraiya, waiting for an answer. I'm one of your parents' friends. I'm the one who gave you your name. I should have been in the village when the Nine Tails attack happened. Now, I regret it. I also should have taken care of you, and now it's my fault that you've fallen into this dark path. I'm sorry, Naruto, but please help me defeat Pain. Naruto finishes listening, then finally comes to a conclusion. He realizes that all this time he had been lied to by the Akatsuki. They gave him hope and let him in as a true member, but that was all a lie. And anger ignites from inside of him as he also realizes that the Akatsuki also used him for everything. All of the Jinchuriki captures, all of their power rising, everything. He transforms into his Kurama mode, sending out an orange light upon the dark village. He then makes his move, speeding towards his target, which is now Pain. He takes 3 of the paths out with his speed, which were the Predator, Human, and Naraka paths. He then blitzes back to Jiraiya's side, ready to team up against the Pain. The animal path summons creatures as the other paths spread out to find an opening to attack. The creatures go berserk, scaling high above the village, also looking for prey. Naruto says to Jiraiya that he's got this and transforms into his Kurama avatar, towering the summoning's height and about to go into battle. Jiraiya is left down low to battle the Asura and Deva path by himself, but he's not afraid because he may get some more info on who Pain really is. The Pain fight goes on for a while, with Naruto defeating the animal path with ease and Jiraiya taking down the Asura path. Now the only Pain left is the Deva path, Yahiko's corpse. The fight continues on, and while it goes on, Jiraiya teaches Naruto about the Rasengan and how to use it. Naruto learns it fairly quickly and gets a clean hit with it on Pain, sending him flying. Pain then gets back up and throws Naruto further from him and Jiraiya with his Shinra Tensei, leaving Jiraiya by himself again. He then strikes at Jiraiya, but with Jiraiya not going into stage mode and all that stuff, he has no chance. Pain also goes for a hit with his chakra blades and stabs Jiraiya repeatedly, sending him to the ground. Also, when Naruto gets back up from being thrown and hurries towards where Jiraiya and Pain are. He arrives, but to his sight is Jiraiya getting impaled by Pain, fatally wounding him and making him die slowly. Blood pours everywhere onto the ground as a dying Jiraiya looks up to see Naruto. Naruto though goes full power and blitzes Pain with his Rasengan, which has a 9-tailed chakra in it too, destroying the Deva path for good. He goes to Jiraiya's side to comfort him. Jiraiya then says his final words. "I've worked it out. That wasn't the last Pain. There is still a host. Find him and then that's where you defeat him. Also Naruto, don't plan on destroying the village. Forgive them and fight alongside them. That is probably what your parents wished for." Jiraiya then dies next to Naruto with a smile, knowing that he finally found him. So last time we left off with Naruto finishing his fight with Pain, while Jiraiya has just died in battle. Before he died though, he explained to Naruto that the Pain he defeated isn't the real user, and that he figured it out in battle. He also said that there was a host that he needed to defeat too. Naruto decides to follow Jiraiya's orders, but is it out of revenge since Pain betrayed Naruto, or is it just because he felt comfortable around Jiraiya and knows that he could trust him? Naruto decides to use his mind and picks up one of Pain's chakra blades from inside of Jiraiya and shoves it into himself. He turned into his Kurama mode after that and reverse tracks the real Pain using his sensory abilities. He finally locates him and gets enraged. He thinks of an idea on how to finally take revenge on the person who betrayed him. He forms an evil grin on his face and transforms into his QB avatar. He blitzes right next to Nagato's location and takes stands. Nagato inside of the building senses Naruto's beaming chakra. Conan inside as well doesn't know what to do. Naruto outside then muffles under his breath. "This is for betraying me and killing that old geezer." He then unleashes a slightly big Biju bomb, large enough to destroy a building, and shoots it towards Nagato's location, completely obliterating him and Conan for good. Naruto then reverts back out of his Kurama form exhausted and makes it back to Jiraiya. He sits down and waits until he has enough chakra again, and gets back up after some of his chakra has come back. Naruto disappears from sight and reappears again with someone in his grasp, an innocent villager that Naruto is going to use as a sacrifice. He takes some of Jiraiya's blood and puts it on the scroll that he got from learning Edo Tensei, and makes the signs of his jutsu, reanimating Jiraiya. Remember, like, in the first part, Naruto had learned everything in the scroll, so of course he learned Edo Tensei from Tobirama's scroll. Naruto's plan is to ask Jiraiya more about his life and information on his parents. He completes the jutsu with Jiraiya rising in his Edo Tensei state, surprised to be alive again, and more surprised that Naruto revived him. The Edo Tensei jutsu. You've learned that too, huh? Yeah, well, I need more information on my history and about my parents, so I decided to revive you to learn. Jiraiya turns to shock at Naruto. Well, I'm not the right guy for that, kid, but I know who would be perfect for that, your father Naruto, and if you can revive me, I'm sure you can revive him. Now release this jutsu on me and go back to Konoha to find the Shinigami mask located in the Uzumaki clan mask storage temple. From there, take the mask and find the 4th Hokage's body, then start the reanimation jutsu. You need the mask because his body was sealed by a Shinigami. Naruto's eyes grow wide after hearing the 4th Hokage's body. His father is the 4th Hokage. He wonders about that and then follows Jiraiya's orders, releasing the Edo Tensei off him. He then leaves off for Konoha. Meanwhile, elsewhere, the Kage Summit is about to start in the village hidden in the clouds. Tsunade, unaware of Jiraiya's death, is there on time as the new Hokage of the Hidden Leaf. This all happened since there has been talks about the Akatsuki capturing the village's Jinchurikis, and the Raikage isn't happy about Killer Bee getting taken by them. The Kages are basically the same as the original, except Conqueror is the Kazekage now since Gaara died by getting the Shukaku extracted from him. Tamara is with Conqueror too as a special bodyguard entrusted to help him out. The Kages talk about the last Jinchurikis left but realize there is none, that they are all taken by the Akatsuki. But after that, Tsunade speaks about how the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki Naruto left the village a long time ago, also saying how he might not have been taken by the Akatsuki yet. But that's only a possibility. The Raikage then muffles under his breath. The Nine-Tails, huh? He then gets up from his chair. My sources say that they saw a huge fox figure when B got taken. Maybe a little Jinchuriki went off to play with the enemy. The Raikage stares at Tsunade with a serious expression. Impossible. Naruto is a Jinchuriki. Why would he join the Akatsuki if they're trying to capture him? It's just a theory, Tsunade, but it seems very possible that the Akatsuki lied to him so they could use him. The Raikage sits back down to discuss who would be the leader of the allied force, with the Raikage coming on top as the commander. We cut back to Naruto with him coming closer to Konoha, but as he continues his journey he spots a figure walking. He goes in for a closer look and sees the figure stumbling, looking like he had just been in a huge battle. Naruto stares around him and spots the land all destroyed while appearing to be like a battlefield. Naruto dashes to the figure, curious to find out who it is. He makes it there, revealing to him that it's Sasuke. Sasuke looks up at Naruto and bounces backwards, knowing if Naruto is looking to fight him, that he has no chance since he has used up all of his chakra in his fight with Itachi. Don't worry, I'm not gonna fight you. I'm just curious on what happened here. Sasuke lets out a sigh of relief. Well, I had my fight with my brother and surprisingly I won. But let me ask you, what are you doing here and where's your gang, huh? Sasuke gets up from his spot. I'm glad that you won against them because I left the traitorous Akatsuki and killed their leader. And well, he was a part of it, so I'm happy that you killed Itachi. And also the reason I'm going towards this direction is to find out more about what it's like to be a shinobi, a leaf shinobi. I'm going to have to revive my father and maybe even the past Hokages to find out. Naruto says this all out to Sasuke, feeling neutral around him. Try not to remember how you treated him years ago. Sasuke tries to do the same thing, realizing that Naruto doesn't feel uncomfortable speaking to the enemy. Also, deep inside of him, he also wants to know what it's like to be a leaf shinobi, with him asking Naruto if he could go with him too. Naruto reluctantly says sure, seeing how this is a way to try to get out of his dark days, remembering what Jiraiya said. They both head off to Konoha while Obito watches on, angry to see that Naruto is not dead and that he didn't get his chance to tell Sasuke about Itachi. Zetsu at the side of him speaks up. Well, the Kages are having their meeting, Obito. We think it's time for you to make some noise. Obito grins inside of his mask. Yes, this would be a perfect way to get Naruto. We cut to the Hidden Leaf village with Naruto and Sasuke able to sneak in, get the Kage's bodies, get the Shinigami mask, and head towards a deserted area ready to start the reanimation. Luckily, when they were heading to Konoha, they ran into some enemy ninjas along the way. There were 4 of them, just right for Naruto's sacrifices. Him and Sasuke made sure not to kill them too. They start the reanimation with Naruto releasing the 4th and 3rd Hokages from the Shinigami seals with the mask, and then later after that he revives all 4 of them. The Hokages all stare at Naruto and Sasuke, surprised to see that they've been brought back to life. Naruto, is that you? Minato's eyes are locked onto Naruto. Yeah, it's me, father, and the reason I revived you all here is that I want to know more about what it means to be a leaf shinobi. I hated the Hokages back in my younger days, but now I feel more interested in them. I also want to know a way on how to redeem myself for all the things that I've done. Minato shakes his head and gets ready to tell the story of the Nine Tails attack, while Hiruzen talks to Sasuke about something on his brother Itachi, meaning that he's about to tell Sasuke about Itachi's double life. After they've told their story, Sasuke takes some time alone, and like in the original, he unlocks the Mangekyo Sharingan. He returns with a serious expression now. Hashirama then tells them about the history of the leaf, and after Sasuke hears Madara's name in the story, he recalls back to what Itachi told him. Hashirama continues while Tobirama says some things too. They both finish talking and await for Naruto and Sasuke's resolve. Will Sasuke want to destroy the leaf, and will Naruto still continue his dark ways? Well, you'll have to see soon. Anyway, we cut to the Kage summit with everyone being relaxed with just talking about not that much big things. But then it happens. Obito warps inside quickly, revealing himself to the Kage so suddenly. The Raikage sees this and also spots the red clouds on Obito's clothes, indicating that he's an Akatsuki member. He gets enraged and launches himself at him, but realizes that he slipped right through Obito. The Raikage then asks Obito, "What do you want, Akatsuki member?" Obito shoots his arms out. "I want the Nine Tails Jinchuriki. I need you guys to track him down for me." The Kages all look surprised. Obito says this because he knows that he's too weak right now to do it himself, since he doesn't have the Rinnegan and he isn't able to get it because Naruto is dead. "Why would we want to do that for you? Naruto is still Leaf Shinobi, and I shall not let him get into your grasp." Tsunade stands up from her chair. Obito then introduces that he's Madara Uchiha. He also informs the Kages about the Tsukiyomi plan, while also giving them a warning. If they don't follow his orders, then he'll start a war. The Kages still don't give in, and that's when Obito finally announces the 4th Great Ninja War. So last time we left off with Obito declaring the 4th Great Ninja War, while Naruto and Sasuke have just been told the secrets of their past and the past life of the former Kages. And now they have to decide whether to protect the Leaf Village or go against it. It takes a while for them to decide, but Naruto answers first, revealing his decision. "Alright, I want to protect the Leaf." The Hokages grin to that answer, knowing they have another strong protector in their village now. Naruto then explains why he chose this decision, saying how all shinobi need to make sacrifices, remembering what Hashirama said about killing his old friend and how Jiraiya and his parents sacrificed their lives to protect them. He tells them that he now needs to sacrifice his own dream, which is to destroy the leaf, and he also doesn't want to feel like a fake shinobi that is weak by not making sacrifices. Minato walks up to Naruto, smiling while placing his hand on Naruto's shoulder. "Thank you, Naruto, for siding with the leaf again." The Hokages turn to Sasuke now, feeling like it's his turn to tell them his answer. Sasuke forms a serious expression. "I'll protect the leaf, but I'll change the system one day. What the high-ups did to my brother, I won't forgive that. But you're lucky I chose to go with you guys, since I was thinking of killing Danzo." Hiruzen nods his head, keeping quiet since he was involved in the situation with Itachi, while surprised Sasuke is not mad at him. So sometime later, Naruto, Sasuke, and the Hokages go out into Konoha, with the Hokage saying they want to see the Leaf Village one more time before they die again. Naruto, becoming more calmer now, let them have some time to sightsee. While going around the village, Hiruzen looks up to find out the Hokage of this generation, and finds out it was none other than his student Jiraiya. He formed a slight grin, knowing that one of his students carried on the Hokage legacy. We cut to a later time with the group separated since Naruto and Minato wanted to go to look at some parts of the village with only the both of them, while Sasuke is with the rest of the Hokages. Minato explains to Naruto about a lot of things, like his abilities such as the Rasengan and the Flying Raijin. He asks Naruto if he knows any of them, to which Naruto replies saying that Jiraiya told him the Rasengan just before his death. Minato looks down, still shocked to find out that his teacher is dead. But at that moment, a group of Leaf Shinobi take sight of Naruto and alert more ninjas. They all cut Naruto off, with Minato disappearing quickly, hoping to not have been spotted by anyone. One of the shinobi points at Naruto. "Apprehend him, now! He is to be put in questioning for being a missing ninja shinobi." The rest of the ninjas nod their head and take action. all running at Naruto, which Naruto does nothing since he doesn't want to start a fight, and it would be a safer way for Minato to get Sasuke so he can explain that Naruto should not be put away. We cut to some time later with Naruto being interrogated by Tsunade and some other shinobi. Since she's the Hokage right now, she got told very quickly that Naruto is in the village. Also, she hasn't told anybody about the 4th Great Ninja War yet except Chunins, Jonins, Anbu, and Danzo and the elders. She asks Naruto a load of questions, but sticks on where Jiraiya is since she knows that Jiraiya went out looking for him, and Naruto might know where he is. Naruto is about to answer, then Sasuke and the Hokages pop into the Hokage office. Tsunade's eyes widen in shock, laying her eyes on her grandfather, Hashirama, the first Hokage. Grandfather, is that you? Hashirama smiles. Yeah, it is. You look way older than when I last saw you. Wow. Tsunade continues to look around, spotting Hiruzen, Tobirama, and Minato. What's going on here? Is this a reanimation jutsu? Naruto then speaks up, saying that he reanimated the past Hokage so he could learn about the village's past and his own one too. He also goes on to be honest and tell Tsunade about his experience with the Akatsuki, then revealing Jiraiya's death and how he killed the leader Pain. After that, Tsunade decides to give Naruto one chance. She goes on to tell him about the war and tells Naruto that if he could help the nations take down the Akatsuki, then she would accept him in the village again. Tsunade didn't want to reject Naruto too easily, knowing that he had a tough childhood and didn't want Jiraiya's sacrifice to be in vain, with just putting Naruto in jail. Everyone in the room agrees to Tsunade's plan and they decide the preparations for the war. Meanwhile, Tsunade makes Danzo not Hokage but just the leader of the village right now, just to take care of things while everyone else is out war. So the war goes on the same way, with Obito getting Kabuto to help him out with the Edo Tensei Jutsu, making an army of reanimated ninjas. Also, Obito got Kabuto to help him out, promising to give him Sasuke in return, which he's probably lying. Now the war pretty much is kind of the same way like in the original, except Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi, Guy, and the past Hokages are put on the front line to look for Obito, who we know as Madara at this point. But the real Madara eventually gets revived and the 5 Kage fight with him happens, with the Kage getting completely destroyed. Elsewhere in a battle someplace else, the reanimated Ginkaku and Kinkaku are sealed in their ninja tools, and as they are, Obito teleports to the place and takes the both of them. Just in case he can't get a hold of Naruto, he'll use their Kyuubi chakra instead. Sometime later, he is put face to face with the frontline shinobi Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi, Guy, and the past Hokages. But he's not alone, since he has the current alive Akatsuki members, with them being Kasame, Kakazu, Hidan, while he has an Edo Tensei Akatsuki member, but only one, which is Itachi. He makes them go to battle while he takes care of Naruto himself, hoping to get his chakra and making the real Madara summon the Geto Mazu, since he doesn't have Nagato's Rinnegan to summon the Geto Mazu himself. The fight against the Akatsuki takes some time. Also, Sasuke and Itachi have their second battle, with Sasuke asking Itachi if it's true that he massacred the Uchiha by the Leaf's orders. What Itachi does first is getting near Naruto to help him get out of Kabuto's bind using the Kota Matsukami ability he left in him. He gets out of Kabuto's control and reveals the truth to Sasuke, right before he goes to shut down the Edo Tensei Jutsu himself. Back to the battle, Kakashi and Guy are going against Kasame, Kakazu, and Hidan, and they seem to be making really good progress since they know about Hidan's secret ability from getting information on it from the Hidden Cloud Village, since one of their Jinchurikis got taken by him, while other shinobi saw how Hidan's moves work. Kakashi and Guy keep in mind they cannot let themselves bleed or they'll probably lose. On the other side, Sasuke joins Naruto's fight against Obito, with Sasuke adapting to Obito's intangibility, getting a few hits on him. Tobirama and Hiruzen then eventually join Kakashi and Guy's battle, easily taking down the lost Akatsuki members. After that, Hashirama and Minato go to Naruto and Sasuke's battle, with Minato remembering seeing the Masked Man and knowing how to beat him. He uses his Flying Raijin, racing at Obito, and then doing the same trick he did years ago, able to send a Rasengan at him, but the place where it hit was his mask, and at that moment Madara enters the battlefield, surprising everyone that the Masked Man wasn't the real Madara. They all wait for the mask's pieces to fall, and then it gets revealed that the fake Madara was Obito Uchiha. Kakashi goes in shock, staring at Obito, same as Minato, remembering how Obito was the one who did the Nine Tails attack. Madara looks at Obito. Huh? Where's your Rinnegan, Obito? Shouldn't you have gotten it from Nagato already? Obito shakes his head. The Nine Tails Jinchuriki killed him, completely vaporizing him. The Rinnegan is gone. Madara nods his head and tells Obito that he needs to summon the 10 Tails now, but in his head he knows that he's defeated, since he needs the Rinnegan to make his plan complete. When Madara planned to come back to life using Obito, he assumed that he already got one of Nagato's Rinnegan, but since he doesn't have it, he is defeated. Because Madara has a Rinnegan, he has both the Rinnegans, but he's in his Edo Tensei form, and he needs to come back alive to become the 10 Tails Jinchuriki. And since he wouldn't have any Rinnegan after he comes back alive, he's completely defeated now. But right now, he just wants to see the 10 Tails reborn. Obito tells Madara to summon the Gedo Mazu quickly, remembering he still has Ginkaku and Kinkaku's Kyuubi Chakra. Kakashi wakes out of his shock and finally asks Obito how this happened and why he's doing it. Obito then explains everything, from when he was found by Madara, Ren's death, and how he created the Akatsuki. Kakashi processes all the information and finally gets it. Madara then begins to summon the Gedo Mazu, but Hashirama dashes at him quickly with his wood style, which Madara dodges slightly while trying to make the hand sign to summon the statue. But as he does, pieces of his body begin to fly up as he gets engulfed by a white light, indicating that Itachi has gotten coveted to release the Edo Tensei Jutsu. Obito's eyes widen, seeing Madara fly up. Wait, you can't go now? Sasuke grins. My brother did it. He saved all of us now. Madara then smirks at everyone. You really think I'll go so soon? He does some hand signs and releases himself from the reanimation contract, making himself not disappear. I, Madara Uchiha, will not be beaten so easily. He puts on an axe so he can't show anyone that he has been defeated, even though he's still alive. Either way, he does the hand sign for the Gedo Mazu and summons it. Minato quickly dashes to Obito so he can't be able to throw the backup Kyuubi Chakra in the statue. But Obito Kamui's away quickly, then reappears placing the Kyuubi Chakra in the Gedo Mazu. After that, Madara places a barrier around the statue using the Rinnegan so the 10 Tails can make its transformation. So last time we left off with the 10 Tails being born into the world once again, and Obito still thinking that he has won when Madara knows that the two of them have lost, since they have no Rinnegan with them except Madara's Edo Rinnegan. But the Rennegans can't be used since Madara cannot be revived again when Obito doesn't have a Rinnegan. The 10 Tails begins to make chaos across the shinobi army, using every attack it has in its first form. Madara decides to control it for now while Obito teleports away. From a distance, Naruto and Sasuke look upon the beast that has emerged in shock of how big this monster is. Sasuke looks at Naruto. So are we really going up against that? Naruto nods his head while staying focused on the 10 Tails. Behind the two of them are Kakashi and Guy, and Kakashi is still saddened by the fact that the marksman, that the one who started this all, was none other than Obito Uchiha, as he thinks that Obito teleports to his side and Kamui's him into his realm. In the Kamui realm, Obito explains more about his plan and how he knows about Ren's death. After that, he begins to dash at Kakashi ready to battle. Back in the real world, the Shinobi Alliance battled the 10 Tails small clones while Naruto and Sasuke try to hold off the 10 Tails itself. From a distance behind them, Sakura quickly runs to their side, thinking that she's worthy to fight alongside Naruto and Sasuke, when we really know she isn't. Anyway, when Sakura runs up to the two of them, she begins to apologize to Naruto about the things she said to him years ago. Naruto just looks back, but I only care about the future. He forms a fist on one hand and sends it into his palm on the other hand. I guess Team 7's back. Sasuke and Sakura grin and run towards the 10 Tails. For the first time, Sasuke unleashes his Susanoo and it's only his armored one since he doesn't have the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Naruto transforms as well, going into his QB chakra mode while Sakura just gets her fists ready. The Tentacle sends out small clones to attack Team 7 instead of attacking itself. The clones all charge together and some of them group on Sasuke, almost overpowering him, but that's when Sasuke shoots out black flames from his eyes, surprising himself and Team 7. He realizes that this is his brother's jutsu, the Amaterasu, and that Itachi might have implanted it in him at some point of time. Meanwhile, on the Ten Tails, Madara stops controlling it so he could go fight Hashirama. He thinks it's been too long since he fought him and there's no point in controlling the Jubi when his plan can't really take action. But before he goes to battle Hashirama, he waits for some time so he can see what the Jubi is going to do. So after he stopped controlling the Ten Tails, it starts to go berserk and unleashes a Biju bomb. The bomb shoots at the Shinobi Alliance ready to hit them, but as it gets close, it disappears from everyone's sight. They look around and far away they see a giant explosion which was from the bomb. Minato teleports back to the battlefield with everyone realizing that the 4th Hokage had already dealt with the Biju bomb. The Hokages continue to protect the Alliance while Team 7 starts to get closer to the Jubi. We cut to Kakashi and Obito's fight, with Kakashi able to win their battle, but that's what Obito wanted, because now his seal on his heart is broken. Obito kamuis back into the real world onto the Ten Tails. Next to him, Madara is there getting ready to fight Hashirama, but Obito is able to get some words out to him. Wait, Madara, do the seal on me. Let me become the Ten Tails Jinchuriki. Madara looks down on Obito and thinks about it for some time, and he remembers that it doesn't really matter anymore since the plan can't be completed. He does hand signs to cast the special jutsu seal on Obito that will let him become the Ten Tails Jinchuriki. After he does that, he gets off the Jubi quickly while the whole of the Ten Tails gets sucked into Obito. Upon seeing the Ten Tails disappear, all of the Shinobi Alliance begin to think that they've won the war, starting to celebrate, but that's when Naruto and Sasuke spot someone in the spot where the Jubi was in. The two of them look at each other and nod their heads, both dashing towards the figure, leaving Sakura behind. Once the figure starts to get more clearer, both Naruto and Sasuke stop and look, spotting a pure white, scaled person holding a staff with 10 balls flying behind them. They look more closer at the person's face and see that it's Obito. Naruto's expression begins to go dark and anger starts to rush in him. No, he did it. Wait, maybe he hasn't controlled it yet. Without hesitation, Naruto races at Obito at full speed, leaving Sasuke without any warnings. Obito is just standing still, getting used to his new figure, and that's when he spots Naruto. Naruto forms a Rasengan and charges it at Obito. As it goes to hit him, Obito disappears from Naruto's sight and appears behind him, sending his staff into Naruto's heart. Blood flies out of Naruto while he falls into the ground. His QB mode vanishes from his body as his chakra starts to disappear as well. Obito grins. Naruto, you have lived such a hard life. If you didn't attack, you could have been gifted to be in the infinite Tsukiyomi, but now you can't. Rest now. You were help to the Akatsuki. From a distance, Sasuke looks in horror, spotting Naruto on the ground. No, he can't be dead. Not that easily. Obito crouches down, placing his hand on Naruto's heart. He's dead, Sasuke. No way of bringing him back now. Sasuke notices that he's the only one who's seeing this right now, since everyone thinks that they've won. Elsewhere, Hashirama and Madara battle, and like in the original, Madara wins the fight due to his Rinnegan and Hashirama cells. That was a good battle, Hashirama. You almost got me. Hashirama lets out a serious expression at Madara. So what's next on your Tsukiyomi plan, huh? Madara hears this and begins to explain to Hashirama that his Tsukiyomi plan failed because of that kid Naruto, who is his next target. He then leaves Hashirama by himself, stabbed with chakra rods so he can't move. As Madara gets back to the main battlefield, he sets his sight on the new Obito. Madara stands still and thinks that it's finally time to tell Obito the truth. He quickly runs to where Obito is and tells him that he needs to explain something. Sasuke, still frozen in horror at the fact that Naruto is dead, just stares at his enemies in hate and anger. Where the Shinobi Alliance is, Minato starts to think something strange, that Naruto isn't back yet. He then spots Sakura coming his way. Lord Fourth, I don't know what happened, but both Sasuke and Naruto haven't been back yet. Minato hears this and races to where the Ten Tails location last was, which is where Obito is getting told by Madara the truth. From behind, Tobirama follows Minato while Hiruzen stays behind. The both of them spot Sasuke standing still and go to his side. Minato goes closer to Sasuke. What happened? Where's Naruto? Sasuke just points at Naruto's now dead body. Minato's eyes widen. No, Naruto. Without hesitation, Minato starts to run at where Obito and Madara are. But Tobirama stops him and tells him to look and observe the enemies first, pointing at Obito's new appearance. At that moment, Obito's eyes widened in shock, indicating that Madara told him that the infinite Tsukiyomi cannot be taken action of. Sasuke sees Obito frozen with his eyes widened, thinking that Obito is now stunned at something. He sees this as a chance to attack, running at him at full speed, gripping his sword tightly in his hands. He swings it as soon as he is in range, but at that moment Obito senses Sasuke's attack and quickly flies to Sasuke, stabbing his hand into him. Sasuke spits out blood while Obito throws him into the ground. Die. All of you are the reason that the Tsukiyomi cannot take place. Obito starts to stomp on Sasuke's body while Madara watches on, but doesn't have any reason to attack anyone. Obito finishes off attacking Sasuke and realizes that he is dead now. Minato stares at the monster that Obito has become, thinking that the old Obito that he knew isn't this person. He places his head down and tells Tobirama that the two of them need to regroup with everybody else so they can make a plan. They leave, and all Obito is thinking of is to kill everyone on this battlefield, since he thinks that they were the reason that the infinite Tsukiyomi will never happen. Meanwhile, in a dark place, a figure hovers staring down on the two people that have entered his realm. One person is in one part of his realm while the other is in another part. He explains to the two people that he is the sage of the six paths and that they have entered because they are reincarnations of his sons. He explains to them about the history of Indra and Asura, how the chakra was made, and his mother named Kaguya. After that, Hagoromo tells them that he needs to give them all of his power that he has left so the two of them can defeat the new Ten Tails Jinchuriki. Naruto, take my power as you were the reincarnation of my son Asura. You were bad at first and didn't act anything like Asura did, but you grew up to become a good and better person. Now take my power. Naruto lets out his hand to touch the Sage of the Six Paths' hand. In the other part of the realm, Sasuke releases his hand as well to touch Hagoromo's. Both Naruto and Sasuke get the Sage's powers, with Sasuke unlocking his Rinnegan while Naruto unlocks Six Paths QB mode. They both get brought back to the battlefield, ready to show Obito what new powers they have. We cut to Obito staring at the Shinobi Alliance bloodlusted to kill everyone. At the same time, Kakashi teleports back and spots the new Obito. Madara stands behind Obito and says that he has no reason to fight a pointless battle. Hashirama, now out of the chakra rod's binds, groups up with the rest of the Hokage, taking the front line of battle. The Alliance waits for Obito's move, which he does quickly, sending truth-seeking orbs their way. The orbs fly at the Alliance, but someone appears out of nowhere, knocking the truth-seeking orbs out of the way. The person touches the ground, revealing himself to be Naruto Uzumaki. Sasuke jumps to Naruto's side as well, revealing his Rinnegan. Madara is shocked, wondering how the two of them are alive and how Sasuke has the Rinnegan. But Obito just dashes in, ready to fight. Sasuke flickers away and reappears above Obito, piercing an Onyx Chidori into him. After that, at full speed, Naruto races in at Obito with a Rasengan, and with no time to react since of Naruto's crazy speed, Obito gets blasted with the Rasengan. Now that Obito is weakened, Naruto turns into his Kurama avatar mode, and Sasuke transforms into his full body Susanoo. They use these power-ups to pull the chakra out of Obito's body. Unlike the original, they did this by themselves since of the Sage of the Six Paths chakra. Obito is still weak and can't defend himself, and the tailed beasts all get taken out of him. He collapses to the ground, unable to move since he's about to die. Naruto and Sasuke head to Obito to check on him. Sasuke gets his sword out ready to stab Obito, but Naruto stops him. No, he's already dying because of the extractment. I would kill him, but I'm not my old self anymore. Sasuke nods his head and puts his sword away. After that, Obito dies, ending the war. Sometime later, the Hokages depart as well as Madara. Before the tailed beasts leave to go back to their home, Naruto says sorry for what he did with the Akatsuki. The tailed beasts accept since he took them out of Obito. After that, everyone leaves to go back to their villages. Naruto has to go to jail for a week, but not any longer since he saved the whole shinobi world. And after he's served his time, he goes into the village to enjoy the new approval of the villagers. They now say that Naruto and Sasuke are heroes and keep congratulating them. Now Naruto lives in peace as he looks up at Jiraiya's Hokage head, remembering him. Elsewhere, Black Zetsu waits by himself for new reincarnations to come back, so he can exact his Kaguya plan once again. Now, end of this video. Hopefully you did enjoy. This was the final part of the Akatsuki series, and I just can't believe we made it to this part. So anyways, like always, subscribe if you're new, hit that like button and turn on bell notifications. It's been a Blue Fang, peace.